And now for the Honorable Minister of Labour, the Honorable Joseph Hamilton.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, January 17th, the Minister of Finance presented a budget to this National Assembly. And since then, when you listen to the utterances of the opposition members, within and without this parliament, it can be characterized by 3 words: hollow utterances, shallow utterances, and a lot of banality. You listen to what they have said. Let me address right away Honorable 𝐁𝐔𝐃𝐆𝐄, who stood there just now and he spoke about the land program, but failed to make the point that the land program was destroyed and became bankrupt because the PNC loaned money to themselves that they never replenished it. That's a fact. That's the reality of the land program. Many of the PNC members of Region 10, Mr. Figueroa knows, borrowed and never replenished the fund. So the fund was bankrupt. The other thing he spoke to is the RDC building. The RDC building is well documented in the Auditor General's report, where one of their favorite contractors, they made available to that person far in excess of what the contract said they must give him. And then when we came into government, the building was left there. It is the People's Progressive Party Civic that has to finish that building.
That's correct. That's correct.
They are the ones. Mr. Speaker, the other thing, Mr. Honorable Member Figueroa just spoke about, he now loves the farmers of Linden. And he says, okay, Minister, why you don't give them plots to plant pepper? When they were in power, they gave 200 acres to a man who they hoped would have rigged the elections for them.
Jim, how many did, and
how many little farmers you didn't know they won the plot?
None.
How many of little farmers?
None.
Why you didn't give the little farmers to plant pepper?
None.
Why did you make available the 200 acres? Mr. Speaker, let me go back to Friday. Friday morning, the lead speaker for the opposition stood up there and spoke for 28 minutes. The member could not complete 35 minutes because she only had 28 minutes to rely on AI. Let me say this. AI is not a substitute for RI. RI is real intelligence.
That's correct.
AI is to support RI.
That's correct. Tell them.
But if you don't have RI You could use how much AI and you would end up making no sense.
No eyes.
So, Mr. Speaker,
No eyes.
here is the member. After the 28 minutes was finished, the member could not string 2 words to speak to the budget on her own. Could not in 2 minutes string 2 words to speak to the budget.
Tell them, Joe.
And then she could not have asked for a 5-minute extension. Mr. Speaker, then you have the Honorable Sherrod. You have the you had the Honorable Sherrod Duncan.
Can't take it. They can't
He stood in his house, and his grand moment in his 20 minutes, his grand moment in his 20 minutes was to tell us that he studied law at the University of Guyana. But the reality is, Mr. AG, since 15 years ago, he studied law, but 15 years after, he's yet to be a lawyer. The Attorney General, he has presented many young people to the bar who were in 3rd form at the time he was studying law. And today, they're lawyers. This is the type of people who come to this house and they want to speak to the Guyanese people that they can offer leadership.
wait.
Young Cox, young Mr. Cox, a teacher, he says, a teacher for 13 years. He stood up there and he spoke. For 21 years. Not one word about education delivery. How we can help the educational system. But his grand moment, I'll come to labor in a moment. You would not direct how I speak to you.
Tell them.
You will not direct how I speak to you. Honorable member, Mr. Cox, his grand moment was this. You all gave $100,000. We would give $1 million. Add another 0 and a comma.
Oh, Joe, you know numbers are not as strong point.
He couldn't say, and none of them can say,
Not as strong point.
where the money will come from.
Now you count 6 budget. This
How would they
you
finance
count 6 budget.
his other 0
You count for 1.
and his comma? That is the kind of hollow and shallow conversation.
Competence, man. Incompetence.
The honorable opposition leader,
Up to incompetence.
the honorable opposition leader, I happen to go through 2 minutes of agony and pain. Looking at him, attempting to decipher and analyze, not the budget, attempting to decipher and analyze just the tax measures, Honorable Dr. Ashley say. And when I heard the gentleman, Bishop Edghill, the only thing that came to my mind is the shortest scripture in the Bible, Jesus wept. That was the shortest, the opposition leader, Honorable Prime Minister. Not analyzing the budget, analyzing just the tax measures in the budget, and was convolution and confusion.
Confusion in the place.
Mr. Speaker, this is what we have to deal with. The second point I want to make is, every time we speak, as my colleague Onet Waldron spoke about their deeds,
You can't take it. Look, all are running. Look, all are running. You can't
they say that,
running. Look, you're running.
Onet, why you have to say that? Last week, Ashley said it. We have to say it consistently because we would not allow you to rewrite the history of this country.
Tell them. That's correct. Tell them.
So all of us would say it, that you all tried to rig an elections.
Yes, tell them.
All of us will say it,
We will.
that you all take away children's money.
Yes,
All of us will say it,
and we will keep saying it.
that you deprive old people from their subsidies. All of us will say it,
And we will keep saying it.
that you took away the bonus from the disciplined forces. All of us will say it,
And we will
that you put VAT on educational items and you put VAT on medical items.
That's correct.
Because we will not allow you. We will not allow you to rewrite the history of this country. And let me say this to you.
Shameful legacy.
We are committed to, when the children are born, and the same time we're giving them the $100,000, we will tell them about your sordid deeds.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
So every generation would understand who and what you are.
Who and what you are. That's correct. That's correct.
From birth,
Who and what you are. Who and what
we will tell them who and what you are.
and what you are. That's correct. That's correct.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker,
Bandits.
they love the workers, they say.
Who and what
Yet they disbanded the Ministry of Labor. They love the workers.
Yes, yes, yes. They love the workers.
First time in the history of this country,
No Ministry of Labor.
from since independence,
Not the Ministry of Labor.
from since 1966.
But they love the workers now.
The people over there in their wisdom love the workers,
They love the workers now.
but they disbanded the Ministry of Labor.
The workers ministry.
How?
They love the young people.
How?
They love the young people there. But they
How will people believe you? Your deeds. That's what we're speaking about.
wonder they close down the Ministry of Tourism too.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Sarabo Haley, who spoke earlier, she delved into all the conversations about oil and gas. When we found oil, they came into government. Under them, the production of oil started, and all them fancy things she was talking about, how the labor sector must supervise oil and gas. They train nobody to do that.
None. None. None.
I mean,
And they receive money to do
do
it.
you believe these people?
They receive money to do it.
They're trained not of occupation safety and health officer
Not one.
who can go out there and inspect an FPSO or a drill ship.
Not one.
Not one.
Not one. And Figueroa want to know
She talks about the woes.
and Figueroa want to know why he's sitting
She
out
talks about the woes of the workers.
this time.
They didn't train not one labor officers who can go and do inspection on the FPSOs and drill ships. And they come here with their pretense.
Correct. Mahipal flicking.
I can report to this National Assembly
Mahipal flicking paper.
that presently,
Hiding
under the People's Progressive Party Civic, we have 9 officers that can visit those drill ships.
Tell them, Joe.
9.
And you want to know why you're sitting over there and will be
5 OSH officers and 4 labor
why you'll
officers.
be sitting there for 50 more years.
Mr. Speaker,
You want to know why you're sitting over there.
in 2024, those officers made 9 visits to FPSOs and the drill ships out there. And already a plan is in place for them to do 8 such visits in 2025. And Mr. Abu Ali coming with crocodile tears crying about the workers. Yes, she was crying. Every time she speaks about me, she cries. I don't know why. That is it. And then she went into Honorable Member Sorabo Ely. Spoke to technical and vocational education and training. Imagine. You have to be brazen and brass-faced to speak about that matter.
Brass-faced.
Well, let us check the record. In 5 years, the people over there, excluding Honorable Member Chanda, we're excluding her. And yes, we are excluding her. And the Deputy Speaker. Anything I say are excluded from my comments.
Exclude Figueroa. He was only singing for you.
Mr. Speaker,
Exclude Figueroa. He was singing for you.
Mr. Speaker, in 5 years, under the APNU AFC, even when they know we found oil, even when they knew we had to build more houses, they only trained via the Board of Industrial Training, average 1,300 to 1,500 persons per year. If we give them the higher number, 1,500, and you multiply that by 5, they will only be at 7,500. I can report to this National Assembly that in 4 years, under the People's Progressive Party Civic, we have trained 12,765. And y'all care about young people. Y'all care about young people. In 653 programs across the length and breadth of this country. Mr. Speaker, they like to speak about friends and family. Let me speak to my friends, family, and favorites. Reason 1, we trained 564 of our friends, family, and favorites. Region 2, we trained 1,310 friends, family, and favorite. Region 3, we trained 1,135 friends, family, and favorite. Region 4, we trained 3,692 friends, family, and favorite. Region 5, we trained 930 friends, family, and favorite. Region 6, we trained 2,571 friends, family, and favorite. Region 7, we trained 367. Region 8, 287. Region 9, 716. And Region 10, we trained 1,193 friends, family, and favorite. So the tune of nearly $1.2 billion. Of that amount, Mr. Speaker, it was 5,077 males and 7,688 females. 60%. Mr. Speaker, you know, I can speak to testimonials of persons whose lives have been changed, whose lives have been transformed by the intervention of the Board of Industrial Training. Mr. Speaker, let me quickly say that, look, because of the work the Board of Industrial Training we have been doing, we have had collaboration with the Guyana Energy Agency, programs paid for by the IDB. As I speak to this National Assembly, a collaboration to train 20 women, 2 from each region, paid for by the World Bank. We have had collaboration with the Basic Needs Trust Fund. Minister Singh and myself. We have trained over 300 heavy-duty equipment operators in region.
Tell them.
As I speak to you, when Minister 𝐁𝐔𝐃𝐆𝐄, he was looking for operators in region 5 and 6. All of them that he employed, NDIA, were females heavy-duty equipment operators. You want our record? One woman testified
How many did APLU train?
that she was a security guard. Today, she's meaningfully employed, making good money.
That's correct.
Mr. Speaker,
If you gear up and make excuses.
in 2025, Mr. Speaker, because of the track record set by BIT under the People's Progressive Party, CIVIC, without no obstruction, with financial intervention, that's an important ingredient. Every year, BIT money is going up. Upward, upward. This year, we plan to train 4,000 persons through the length and breadth of this country. Mr. Speaker, the G mining benches, Reunion gold mines, they have signed an MOU with the Ministry of Labor Board of Industrial Training to train all the people that will work on the Oku mines. 1,200 in the first instance in the preparation of the mine, and 1,000 after. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker,
Imagine the Guyanese people throw shield and Norton throw shield.
So, Mr. Speaker, you know, in 5 years, what is happening now, they denied the Guyanese people that. Those people on the other side, what is happening now? They denied the Guyanese people that. Mr. Speaker, we have programs also geared for retirees to reskill them so that they can go back into the world of work. And so I can say to this National Assembly that the highest point where people live in this country, Kurukubaru, we have executed training programs there. Keto, Paramakatoy, Mazaruni, Upper Mazaruni, Honorable Don Hastings, Jawala, Waramadan, Lee Village, and I could go on and on. So, today, wherever people reside, in the rivers, on the mountain, in the valleys, on the coast, the People's Progressive Party CIVIC changing their lives. And that's a contrast.
That's correct. Tell them about it.
What did you do?
Nothing.
What can you speak about?
Nothing.
Mr. Speaker,
Nothing.
Mr. Speaker, let me go back to occupation safety and health. That is very important in the scheme of things in this national development drive. When we went back into government in 2020, even with the oil and gas economy, the Ministry of Labor OSH department had only 9 OSH officers to supervise this whole country. Is that not industrious? It's industrial. God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'll get to the industrial accident. Not the industrious one, My God. Mr. Speaker.
It would have been an accident.
Oh my God.
An accident
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Occupation Safety and Health Department now, we have authority from the Public Service Ministry to employ 32 staff members from 9. In every region, except for Region 8, the Ministry of Labor, we have offices established here. Mr. Speaker, going back to BIT, we didn't stop at just training. We presented to the Ministry of Finance a program to ensure that we can start constructing our own training buildings. And I can report that Unity, Mahika, we have a training building. We have a building, Mount Grippo Hill, Bartica, that will train the people for the Oku mines. We will commission a brand new building in New Amsterdam in 2 weeks' time. We have one that will be ready in 2 months' time in Corriverton. We have 3 contracts signed this year to build 3 buildings, one at Port Kaituma, one at Tushen, and one in Madhya. Mr. Speaker, the OSH department continues to give free service via lecturing and speaking to private sector and public sector. We have trained and ensured that companies now, they have health and safety committees, both in private sector and public sector. We have several collaborations with stakeholders in both public sector and private sector. We have done 1,381 inspections for the year 2024. Mr. Speaker, as I've said earlier, we did the inspections. Workplace accidents, 543 accidents reports were received, and 176 were investigated, including 32 fatalities. We are concerned that we had a decrease in 3 years. In 2024, there has been an increase. And that is what we'll try to ensure, that those numbers go down in 2025. But whilst we have had 32 fatalities, there was a 5% decline in the number of non-fatal accidents. Mr. Speaker, if I go to the labor front, in 2024, we have recouped $31.7 million for workers from employers. And in 4 years, we have recouped over $200 million for workers. Mr. Speaker, the Labor Department conducted 3,131 inspections in various industrial, Honorable Member Anel.
Work site.
Not industrial establishments across Guyana. We surpassed our target by 15% and also increased inspection activities by 25% when compared to 2023. Mr. Speaker, important to note is that the Department of Labor, the Chief Labor Officer, has countersigned some 34 collective labor agreements, including the ones with the GTU and the Ministry of Education. even though you all created political obstruction and destruction,
That's correct. That's good. Tell them.
we have just signed a 3-year agreement with the Guyana Public Service
Tell
Union.
them.
Even though you over there would want to utilize the workers to create destruction on your behalf, hoping that somehow that can aid and help you to get back into power. But the people see you now. You will not be able to cover them anymore. The people you are looking for now, that you hope to put on a green jersey on them, and you hope to put a placard in their hands, many of them are constructing roads in Sophia, Minnesota. They're busy building their houses, buying their cars, buying their buses. You think they got time for you? And that's the reason why when you all go by 𝐁𝐔𝐃𝐆𝐄 to walk on the chairman, as the opposition leader said, PM, he said you're going to walk with you. That's why nobody but you all go out there. That's why nobody. Because people are busy. Thanks to the People's Progressive Party, they're busy with their lives. There's no time for you. You are a byword. I have no time for you. Many of you cannot even go back into those villages you used to go to once upon a time. The People's Progressive Party said we can walk in any village, any municipality through the length and breadth of this country. So, Mr. Speaker, you know, regarding, Mr. Speaker, the Central Recruitment and Manpower Agency, and let me just say quickly, Honorable Member 𝐁𝐔𝐃𝐆𝐄𝐓 Figueira, of the 12,742 persons we have trained, our tracer study informs us that 73% of those persons are meaningfully engaged, they're employed.
At this point, Minister, we'll need an extension.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask that the honourable member be given 5 minutes to continue and conclude his presentation.
Thank you, Minister Teixeira. Honorable Minister, please, you may continue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Central Recruitment and Manpower Agency has been going through the length and breadth of this country, ensuring we engage young people in job readiness program. When you disbanded the ministry, nothing like that happened. Mr. Speaker, through our job bank app, we have been able to employ several hundred persons. We have over 300 workers, employers that are on that platform. All of that service we give for free. We train them in proper resume preparation, CV writing, interview techniques. Mr. Speaker, at the level of the co-op department, there's a project executed by the AG Chambers, the Ministry of Housing, CHPA, and the Ministry of Labor, where we have committed to ensuring that every citizen that lives in a co-op scheme, they will get their title and their transport. Because when I spoke about that the last time, many of the people there, they said that Hamilton is using this methodology to take away, what is the word they normally use? Ancestral lands. Yes, from people of African descent. Let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. The reality is, people who live in co-op schemes, they are unable to utilize their property, Minister Singh. Some of them got $100 million house. They cannot go to the bank to get a loan to send their children to school. They cannot go to the bank to borrow money to set up a business because what they have is one block lease. We are changing that. We have already started to change that. In many regions,
They don't even understand that. Look
you would have seen
at them.
the AG and his people, Minister Kroll and Minister Rodriguez, they're handing out titles. That is a method of empowerment. You wouldn't understand that.
And wealth creation too.
Just a couple of weeks ago, we went to, well, you would say those people are your people, but you did nothing for them. What we call the 𝐷𝐿 scheme. And my colleague Susan Rodriguez handed out Paradise Multipurpose. We went to Melanie, Visa Ultra Housing Scheme. And we hand out. So you all love them, but you do nothing for them. We love them, and we do everything for them. Yes, they are. The people at Visa Ultra is our friend, family, and favorite. The people at Paradise 𝐷𝐿 scheme, friends, family, and favorite.
That's correct. That's correct.
The people in Region 2, Region 3, Region 6, where we are empowering them by putting a title of transport in their hands. They are friends, families, and favorites. And so, Mr. Speaker,
Go again. Go again. Go again.
oh, this one, friends, family, favorites. Mr. Speaker, as I started, I will end. When we listen on this side, we present programs and plans for the development of this country. When you listen on the other side, is what you have, as I said, their utterances and their presentations are characterized by 3 words: hollow, shallow, and banal. Mr. Speaker, I wasn't sure, Mr. Speaker. I was looking for your paper. I was trying to see if the word dullard is there.
Actually, what is here is your time is up. Thank you very much.